We're back in the studio and we're going to continue with part 2 of the Learn Arduino Programming the Fun and Easy Way. And we're going to look at this shield from Avocado Electronics. And it comes with the book, Young Person's Guide to Arduino. So we're going to take a look at the shield and do some programming coming up next. Hello and welcome to Roanoke Hobby and Electronics. So this is part 2 of the series I started several months ago, Learn Arduino Programming the Fun and Easy Way. And what I'm mainly getting at is we're looking at a couple shields that has all the components that you need to do several different sketches without having to wire up a breadboard and plugging different sensors and components in. Using one of these shields just makes it a lot easier. And just to show what we're talking about here. So this particular shield from Avocado Electronics is a board you can kind of see there in the picture, and we're going to open up the box here in a second. It's got everything there you need, and the kit comes with this book that has several lessons built in, or not built in, but several lessons in the book, and you're using the components that are built into the shield. That's what I was trying to say. So we'll just we'll open this up here and kind of take a look at the shield. And it's very nicely built. I've taken a look at it very closely under the magnifying glass. All the soldering is solid. It's a very nicely put together shield. And see if I can get up close here and have it still stay in focus. So what we have an array of LEDs. So we got 9 LEDs, and in the book it gives you the little chart there that tells you how to address each LED. We've got a volume control knob, which is going to come in handy when you're doing some sketches that involves the speaker. We've got a push button. We've got a temperature sensor. So, and we got a photo sensitive sensor here for detecting light. So you've got several of the components that you normally would be putting together on a breadboard and wiring and connecting and disconnecting and worrying about getting the right resistors. And so it's all already there on the board. And then the book has, I think there's like 15 lessons that steps you through, and is really geared for like the absolute beginner. So if you're completely new at programming, this is a good way to get into the Arduino and learn some of the very first steps how to get started. So for the demonstration today, I'm going to use this board here. I previously have reviewed this product, and it's one of my favorite boards, and it's completely compatible with the Arduino. It's got the Atmega chip. It's got the same chip for the USB to serial. So the Arduino Ide is going to recognize this exactly as a Arduino Uno. So what we're going to do here, and I'll move some of the stuff out of the way here a little bit. We're just going to take the shield and pop it on here, and it's only going to go one way because there's the long row of pins and then the shorter row of pins. So get everything lined up here. Oh, nope, I'm off by 1 pin. There we go. All right. So I'm lining up the back 2 pins here. If you're looking at it, and this is the top, and this is the back side, getting those pins lined up. So there's actually a couple of the pins that are not being used. So that is going to be the proper way to orient the shield on there, because we're going to use all the analog pins for the sensors, and then starting here with the digital pins in the LED array. So that's what it's going to look like with the shield up on top of the Arduino. All right, and then we're gonna plug in, and we're going to do a little bit of coding out of the book. Okay, so we've got the board plugged in to the USB cable, and I'll try to do a close-up here. So I'm going to jump ahead for an example. I'm going to jump ahead to chapter 3 in the book, and we're going to do instead of everyone's done the blink a single LED, but in chapter 3 that show you how to blink 2 LEDs. And there's a chart in the book, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the LEDs are labeled. We have L1 and L2. So in this sketch, we're going to blink L1 and L2 using the pin numbers that they give you in the book. So we'll jump over here to the Arduino IDE, and one of the first things we'll do here is go up to Tools and then make sure we've got the right board selected. And I've got the Arduino Uno selected as the board, and then port. And once it's plugged in, it should show up on the COM point that it's using. Basically the same for Windows, Mac, and Linux. The name of the COM ports are going to be a little bit different depending on the platform, but it usually just shows up automatically if everything's plugged in correctly. It just shows up. So let's see. Let's try this get board info. Yeah, so it's reporting back the serial number and everything. So it looks like I have communications with the board. So we're just going to type in a simple sketch, and then I'm going to jump ahead to a more advanced lesson, and we won't go through the entire process of typing it in, but we'll show one of the first lessons and then a more advanced lesson. And so to start off with, we got to create a couple of variables. I'm just going to call it L1, just like it's labeled on the board. And according to the book, that is pin number 3. And then we're going to do L2, which is pin number 5. And these are the digital pins. And then we have to go down to the setup. And helps if I can type there. So pin mode L1 is going to be output, because we're gonna blink the light. And then pin mode L2 is also going to be output. So that's the setup. So that's going to initialize the 2 pins that we're using. And now in the loop, then this is what's going to repeat over and over. So we gotta put in a little bit of code here to turn the 2 LEDs on and off. So digital write L1. We're going to set it to high. Turn LED on. And then digital write L2. In this example, we're going to set L2 to low, LED, LED2 off, and we'll go up here LED1 on. So then we're just going to delay just 500 milliseconds, and then we're going to do the reverse. So can just think, what's that going to do? So we're going to do a demo, and if I've typed everything incorrectly, we should see it work. So we're going to go up here and we're going to upload, so it's going to compile the sketch. If I didn't make any typos, then we don't see any errors. And there you have it. It is running the loop, and it's alternating L1 and L2, just like we programmed in. So that's like chapter 3 in the book. So it's guiding you through how to address the digital pins, and very fun, easy way to get started. Like I said, this book is well written in an easy to understand way for the absolute beginner. So I'm going to pause here a little bit, and we're going to load up a more complicated sketch from, I think, chapter number 9, and just look at just a little bit more advanced example, and we're going to load that and take a look at what that does. Okay, so yeah, it was chapter 9, and they call it Crazy Lights, and I've done a few modifications. This is not exactly the way it is in the book, but I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting than just straight out of the book. But basically what we're doing here, we'll just go over it. I've already got everything typed in, and so we're putting all the pin numbers into an array called light, and so these are all the pin numbers. I've created a variable LED count, the number of pins that are in the array, and then we've created another array called crazy that's going to have 9 positions, 9 slots in the array. So we get down here to the setup, so we're going to initialize everything. This serial.begin, this is if you were going to be writing out some text to the serial monitor, but I've just got it as a comment because we're not actually doing that. But part of what's going on here is we're going to be picking some random numbers, and that's why this is good. Why this sketch is called Crazy Lights, because we're just going to blink the lights totally at random. So this line here is a command that it's going to read the voltage on an analog pin 0, which nothing's connected to that pin, so you're going to get a totally random value, and that's going to be the seed for your random number generator. Without something like this to seed the random function, it actually is not completely random. It actually is fairly predictable. So the random seed function here gets us a totally random number to start with. And so then rather than initialize, like in the previous example, we initialized each pin as being output, but instead of doing that line by line, because there's 9 of them, we're just going to do a for loop. And this is where I'm using the LED count. So we're going to go through each position in the array, and then we're going to set the pin mode, light, and then the position number that we're getting in the for loop. going to set it to output. So we're just basically looping through the array and setting every pin to output, and then each pin, instead of high and low, we can also use 0 and 1. So 0 then is going to set that LED off because it's going to be low, and a 1 would be high. And that's important to consideration later on, because we're going to turn them on and off with this random numbers. And so we're going to pick a random number between 0 and 1 and determine at random whether that LED is on or off. So now we get down to the loop, and this is going to be our main code, our main logic here. So again, we're going to do a for loop, and we're going to go through each element in the array. There's 9 positions in the array, so we're using the LED count there. So that's just kind of a coding principle, is instead of hard coding the number that you're going to loop through, you use a variable. So I just change it one place, and now if I say I want to only have 8 or 7 items in that array and loop through, I just change it once and then use that variable. That's just a programming concept there. So we're going to loop through the array, and here's where in that crazy, the array called crazy, and the position, the first, we're going to loop through each position, and then we're going to get our random number, and so the random 0, 2, then that will give us a 0 or a 1 at random. So when we call that function with this range of numbers, we're going to get a 1 or a 0. And it's been seeded, so it's going to be totally at random. And then we're going to light, or we're going to turn on or turn off depending on our value in the array. So the LED at that position that we're looping through, and then the value 0 or 1, and then delay 200 milliseconds, and then repeat that. So then we're just going to loop over and over again and just randomly decide each LED is on or off. So you're going to get, you're not going to see any kind of pattern. It should be a truly crazy pattern of LEDs. So as you can see, our other sketch is still running. So we're going to go up here and click on the upload, and it's going to compile, and cross my fingers, hope I don't have any typos in here. So it's going to compile, and it's uploading, and there the sketch has started. And get it up there a little bit closer. You should not see any kind of reproducible pattern. These should be just blinking completely at random, on and off. So this is Chapter 9, the crazy lights. So it's introducing some more advanced programming concepts in the lesson, using for loops, using arrays, seeding, the random function, and picking random numbers. I really like this sketch. Sometimes I will just plug this into a battery and just let it run and just have just a random little LED. Kind of reminds me, this is going back, some of the older science fiction shows, like the original Star Trek, where the control panel on the up there on the like the where Spock is sitting or whatever, the lights are just blinking on and off. And so, you know, when they made that set, they had to do something to just randomly blink those lights, make it look like something's actually happening. So there we have it. So we got a Star Trek LED going on there. So before we wrap it up here, we're just going to take a look at a couple other things here. So The Avocado Electronics has a website that is the online companion for this kit. So they've got some more information, some extras, questions and answers, how to contact them about Avocado Electronics. I think if I get it up here on the screen, if I click on extras, okay, you can join their email list. There you go. Under book, then they've actually created a video for each of the chapters, and how to contact them and more information about them. So that's the online companion for the book, and then you also have their website, avocadoelectronics.com. This was a project that started out on Kickstarter, and you can order directly from them. So they also sell this kit on Tindy.com, and let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention is they've dropped the price. So now from the time that I saw this on Kickstarter and purchased the board to now, which several months have passed by. This is actually a video I've been wanting to make for a while. The price has dropped. So now is a good time if you're interested in learning and starting out from the beginning. This I would recommend this as a board to get. So I think it's a fairly decent deal now. They brought the price down, and they got more options. You can get the board pre-assembled with the book, or you can get the board where you want to solder the components on yourself. So you can make it fairly easy, or if you want to make it really complicated and do your own soldering, they've got several options there. So, and I just now noticed I left my headphones on. I was listening to some things while I was coding that other example, but anyway. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, and be sure and visit the blog at roanokhobby.info. When I post this video, I will also post the links to the website that we just looked at. So if you found this video useful, give us a thumbs up, and be sure and subscribe. That way you will get a notification when we come out with a new video. And appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.